Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. In this video, I am going to be planting your feet firmly back on the ground with why it is you should be involved in the crypto space. Ultimately, guys, I think there are still big things to come for the crypto space. Lots of people are looking at this market and they're saying, look, realistically, how much further can this market go in terms of market cap, in terms of value that it can accrue? We're going to talk about that in this video, and ultimately I think this article sums it up very well. You guys that have been subscribed to the channel now for long enough will know my overarching view, and that is that blockchain technology is akin to the internet in its disruptive nature. We're going to prove that in a bit more detail as we go on in this video, but ultimately I want to say this as my opening segment. This is the new thing. We are moving towards a new world where blockchain technology is at the helm of this new financial system that we are moving towards. Ultimately, if I can see, and many people out there can see, that the system that we are using today is not only outdated, corrupt, fallible, a long list of things. Do you really think the people in charge can't see this? And ultimately what they're trying to do right now is keep the lid on the whole thing until they can position themselves in the best way as possible to benefit from this kind of renaissance revolution that blockchain technology is bringing to the world, guys. And ultimately the value of these cryptocurrencies is going to go astronomically upwards as a result of the role that they are going to play. That's my opening statement. Remember that. I think a lot of people that are new to the space don't quite understand it. It's only really something that I've got my head around over the past couple of years. When I first got into crypto, like everybody else, I was here because I wanted to make money. Essentially, I fell in love with the ideologies of this technology and the fact that we could have a fair system of value, which the fiat money that your governments give to you and say you have to get paid in and pay taxes in, etc., is unfair. It's not a fair metric of value because they're constantly changing the goalposts. They printed nearly 50% of all dollars in the last couple of years, guys. I don't think people realize the true effects of inflation. Essentially, what's happened is if your wage hasn't gone up in accordance with the amount of money that they printed, the buying power of the money you get every month has gone down. So the money you get has stayed the same, whereas what you can get for that money has decreased. And ultimately, this is, when they inflate things, assets go up, commodities go up, things like that go up. Who holds commodities and assets? The top percentage of the world. The poor people get screwed time and time again, and that's really what this channel is all about, guys. I think there is an amazing opportunity setting up in the cryptocurrency space that is going to help some of you, and already has. I mean, we were talking about Ethereum Classic the other day in my little group, and essentially, I know some people have made some serious money off that. I've been in Ethereum Classic for a while. I got into Ethereum Classic really as just a punt. I chucked 100 quid on. It's done exceptionally well, and that is money for some people. When we talk about a couple of £1,000 perhaps is what that is appreciated by, there are a lot of people out there, and a lot of people out there watching right now that couldn't muster up a couple of £1,000 if they tried. That is as a result of the unfair metric system that we have to determine value, which is fiat. We've spoke to you on a number of occasions about how money is only one metric of value. There's plenty of ways we can weigh up value and true value. But I'm going to stop waffling on, guys. I hope you're getting the message. This is just, I don't care if this gets 1 view, 1,000 views, 10,000 views, this video. This is just really me being real with you guys, us connecting and, sharing ideas with one another, really, and why, it's so important to be in the cryptocurrency space. So, World Economic Forum, blockchain could disrupt at $867 trillion in traditional markets. The opportunity could be substantial for the already fast-growing industry with a current capitalization currently around $2.3 trillion. So today we're on $2.4 trillion, but the sentiment's all the same. All assets will eventually be tokenized, from stocks to bonds to commodities. At least that's the perspective of many crypto industry executives who predict that most, if not all, of the modern financial system will eventually run on digital rails. Just put it on a blockchain, as it were. What essentially this lady is saying here in this article is absolutely spot on, and the people in charge know this. Like I say, they're just trying to keep a lid on the entire thing, and ultimately I don't think you're going to accrue this $867 trillion overnight. It's going to be a gradual process that's going to essentially work in some cycles. We're going to be reviewing why blockchain technology is so revolutionary, and how it has traits to, this is Amazon that I'm showing you. We've shown you this before. We did, when we first started the channel, before we'd even broken all-time highs for Bitcoin, review this and say, look at these structures, guys. They're identical. They do this with everything. Every emerging kind of technology that they know is going to revolutionize things, they try and keep a lid on it until they're ready to capitalize on it and regulate it, etc., etc., etc. So I'll continue reading this article. Then we're gonna hear from CZ. I think this is a very interesting tweet that he tweeted. CZ, by the way, is a very, very interesting individual. You can love or hate the guy, but the fact of the matter is he is a grafter. He used to work in McDonald's. So next time you want to drive, go get your drive through McDonald's, and you want to look down your nose at somebody who's working exceptionally hard to try and sustain their family and provide for themselves, just remember, fortunes can change overnight, and ultimately, if you've got that work ethic, you'll do well. So such thinking lurks behind a new report from the World Economic Forum, the organization whose annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland, has been, at least prior to the coronavirus pandemic, a venue of choice for the global financial and regulatory establishment. So the board members on the World Economic Forum, and you can see how this is their thinking, include European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, Carlyle Group co-executive chairman David Rubenstein, and the Indian billionaire businessman Mukesh Ambani. Forgive me for the pronunciation of those, but BlackRock CEO, BlackRock is huge. They have billions and billions under management. This is the way the world's going, guys. And this is why I set this YouTube channel up, because I want you guys to be a part of it. Even if you only have a spare, don't go to the pub. Don't go and get your hair cut as often. Don't buy that designer clothes. Put it into crypto and build wealth for yourself, guys. I have tips that I'm going to probably release on how I've managed to save money up to actually invest in the crypto space. You don't need a lot. You could have put 50 quid in Ethereum Classic and you'd have a couple of grand right now, if you had timed it at the right time. A couple of grand can be life-changing money for some people out there. It can, give them a little bit less stress that they have to worry about on a day-to-day basis. It's my belief that there's a lot of people out there that stress every single day about money. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but it makes your life a hell of a lot easier. There are lots of unhappy billionaires out there, but I would argue there's certainly more unhappy people that don't have any money out there than there are billionaires. So we'll continue reading this article, we'll review it, and then we'll go into some other stuff. We're also going to touch in this video, just to kind of reiterate the point of why you should be in crypto, on just how much money they're printing. We're going to talk about Joe Sniffer Biden and how he's essentially just going to stimulus, care packages, spend. And, this is essentially going to devalue the money that you get paid in every single month. What I do, for those of you who don't know, I own a business in the healthcare sector. When I make money from that business, that money goes straight into investing. I take what I need to live on a daily basis. Somebody else speaking to on the phone this morning said, how do you live month to month? I keep what I need in cash, and the rest of it goes somewhere else, guys, because I understand that if I keep my money sat in cash, it just starts to devalue from the second you get paid it. So anyway, we'll continue reading with the article. Many anticipate a future blurring of the lines between traditional public listed equities and tokenized private company shares, according to the report published on Thursday. Now, we do know Binance, they have Tesla as a token, and they have Coin, which is obviously Coinbase's stock as a token. They're in a bit of a grey area. I'm sure that the United States aren't too happy about that, but you can see how this is moving. It can fractionalize shares. It's very efficient, very fast. And ultimately, the world is moving towards this. So cryptocurrencies, and if you think about something that is enabling these things to be tokenized, like Ethereum or something, think about what the value of that is going to be. This is what this channel, like I say, is all about. It's about showing you guys that you are a part of something magnificent, and I don't want any of you to miss out. If you're a kid out there, just, if you can afford it, $10 or £10 or €10 every week or every month, and build it up. It will serve you well, guys. The key to making that money, in my opinion, if you look at all these billionaires, look at Elon Musk. How did he make all his money? Through investing in PayPal. Look at Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger. I know they don't like Bitcoin, but who cares about what they think? Also, you had the Bank of England came out and said, look, this is really risky, guys. Do you know when I first tried to buy crypto? My bank rang me up and said, we're going to advise you very, very strongly that you don't get involved with this, because once you've transferred your money onto that exchange, you will not, there's nothing we can do essentially. And they told me it was a scam. They told me it was nonsense to not get involved in it. If I'd listened to them guys, I would not be anywhere near where I am today. You know, like I say, they're keeping a lid on it. The pot's bubbling up. Eventually, you know, the room's going to get filled with smoke, and they're going to have to lift that pan up and, you know, release a little bit of pressure. This is the way the world's going, guys. So there's still a long way to go before any of the blurring is commonplace. The report suggests, partly because of friction from the incumbent financial institutions and their overseas likely to resist change. Of course they're going to. If you were in power, if you had a powerful position and you were the top guy, you would try and, you know, make sure that it stays that way. That's human nature. If you're the ones in charge, you are probably going to try and do what you can to make sure it stays that way. That's all this is about, guys. Ultimately, you guys, you know, probably wouldn't go to the lengths that these guys go to. You're probably not as corrupt and as and evil in some respects. But they're going to want to stay in power. You have an entire $1 trillion legacy system, which is what this is all about, that cryptos essentially is threatening. Jamie Dimon, for example, came out and in 2017 said, if any of my employees touch crypto and try to trade this, you're getting fired. Now he's saying, yeah, this is a viable alternative asset. And we'll talk about the value proposition of Bitcoin in a second and the wider crypto space. While greater decentralization is inevitable, substantial headwind may continue to limit adoption of distributed ledger technology solutions, including limited leadership, buy-in, and uncertainty business cases. The need, significant, blah, 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 blah. And essentially it's breaking down how you get this $866.9 trillion equities, debt. A lot of these things are tethered to the US dollar when we talk about debt. For those of you who don't know how the US dollar came into existence, very, very interesting. If you look at how they essentially gave you this receipt, if you will, for handing your gold in, that was $20, got you $20 worth of gold, and then it went to 40% of that gold value you could exchange, and then they started lending out debt, and then France went, hang on a minute, we want our gold back. The rest of the countries did it, and Nixon went, okay, everything's about to collapse, we're going to have to take the dollar off the gold standard, and everyone just accepted it for whatever. Go and look into how the dollar was created, lots of revealing things there. So yeah, you can see how, you know, we're only at $2.4 billion trillion in terms of market cap. Compared to where we're going to go, guys, regardless of if we crash next year and the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, which we've covered in extensive length, you are going to want to be a part of this, because in my opinion, there are trillions to flow into this tiny market in retrospect with everything. And you have an opportunity to be a part of that right now. The dot-com boom, when we talk about, you know, the cryptocurrencies being akin to the internet, what we're essentially saying is we looked at, this is Amazon in the dot-com boom. We covered this, and you can go back and watch the old videos. I think the video ages ago, nearly a year now, when we made it, was called Bitcoin is Following Amazon. And it literally did exactly that. That's how we knew there was value in Bitcoin, because what they do, and they do this with everything, is they'll crash it so that they can position themselves, and then they'll let it run once they're in a position to do so. And this was Amazon. CZ, like I said, banks refusing to work with crypto are like bookstores are refusing to work with the internet. You know, very, very good saying. And ultimately, when we talk about them printing money, you know, 6 trillion, that's the amount that Joe Sniffer himself, Biden has proposed in his first 100 days. First, the stimulus packages, then the infrastructure, and most recently, the American Families Plan. This guy will spend money and, you know, print until, you know, the printers run out of ink. And what you're essentially doing, and why crypto is becoming what it is, certainly Bitcoin, and what's the value proposition of Bitcoin, is you have something you can invest in that is unaffected by the decisions of your government. Right now, everyone's tied to directly, if you get paid in a wage, to the systems of the government, you know, and all these assets are in some ways tied to monetary policy as well. You have the chance to invest in a system that lives outside of that. That is a very valuable proposition for a lot of people. And what happens when all the billionaires in the world get together and they go, like Tesla's doing, like a number of stocks, companies are starting to do now, and they go, hang on, why don't we invest in this just as a hedge, you know, put 10%, 5%, 20%. it will serve them well and it will catch on. We talk about dominoes falling, and this, I think Bitcoin's going to get to $1 million in the future. As long as something catastrophic doesn't happen, you know, like we do know that, you know, there are a number of threats to Bitcoin. We're not going to go into it in this video. But what I'm trying to show you, and I've waffled on for long enough, guys, I'm going to love and leave you and let you get on with your days, is, you know, you can see that this is Amazon. You can see what happened with Amazon, guys. Same thing's going to happen to Bitcoin. You know, they crashed it like they do with everything. It went from $107 all the way down to $5. People would have gone, yeah, there's no value here because of the monetary price of it. Remember, true value and a monetary price are worlds apart, in my opinion. And then, you know, similar thing with Bitcoin today. And, you know, you could argue without a lot of the printing, if you divide this by M2 or something like that, we've not made as far a leg as we have. But that's enough of me rambling on, guys. I hope you found this enjoyable. I like to do these videos every now and then when we just keep it real. I talk to you guys at the other side of the screens. Thanks a lot, by the way, for all the support. Really, really appreciate it. We're going to keep these coming. These videos are going to become more frequent because ultimately, one thing that I want to do is make sure that you guys that are new to the space understand exactly what you're getting involved with. You're getting involved with a technological revolution that is going to change the very infrastructure of the world as we know it today. This is nothing, this has happened throughout history. We've gone from one system of monetary policy to another, whether it was the Yappa stones, whether it was salt, whether it was, you know, gold and silver, whether it was the fall of some empires as they decided to sort of melt down their silver coins and make them less sort of worth the silver value, and then people went, hang on, we're not working for you anymore. If you go. Anyway, enough of me rambling on, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.